Hi, welcome to this episode of The Home Team. I'm your host, Jeff Shaughnessy. Coming up, we head to a tournament hosted by a local dodgeball league. Fanshaw's women's volleyball team ends a historic run. We have highlights of Western's face-off at the Forks. And TV Raw Swimming is our high school feature. First up, the London Dodgeball League hosted the 8th annual Forest City Invitational Tournament in January, and we were there to check it out.
It's a league for anybody. We have 3 different tiers of players. So we have a tier for players who are brand new to the sport, players that have been around a little bit, and then players who want to play very competitively.
The London Dodgeball League plays by rules similar to those of the World Dodgeball Federation. They are less like what you may have seen in the movies and closer to what you may remember from public school.
Honestly, it's more similar to what I remembered than what people think. Obviously, everyone is like, oh, can you dodge a wrench? Can you, everyone assumes we use the huge rubber balls, and it's more similar to public school. It's similar rules, it's just very competitive.
So it could be a very fast game and a very strategic game. There are 6 balls on the court. They look like this. It's made of foam. It's a 7-inch ball. You have 6 players on each side, whether it's co-ed or men's and women's. And essentially the idea is throw the ball and hit the other person. And then that person is out, and you keep playing that game until you've eliminated the entire team. And then you start a new game and you play for, could be 20 minutes, 40 minutes as an entire match. And whatever team wins the most games wins the match.
It's such a patient sport. It's so much more about the dynamic on the court and talking and communication than it is just being selfish and doing what you want.
In January, the league hosted the 8th annual Forest City Invitational Dodgeball Tournament, which drew teams from around the continent.
It is now one of the biggest tournaments, we think, in North America, with 66 teams over 2 days. We have people coming from all over. There's people from North Bay on my team. There's people from Quebec. We had someone come from California last year. People come up from the States, and very high-level players, like players from Team USA, players from Team Canada. They're all coming to this tournament because they know that the best players are coming and they want to play against the best.
This is one of my favorite tournaments. I think because we host it. A lot of players who play at a competitive level, we're constantly traveling to Toronto, to Ottawa, to different places, which I love because they host awesome tournaments. But it's fun to have everyone come here. And I love it that in the past couple of years, we've even made it more, obviously the tournament and the competition is great, but we're trying to make it more of a social thing too. So we've started renting out bars and stuff to just try to get the community, because that's my favorite part of dodgeball is the community. I've made more friends in this community than I have in my life.
As Steve mentioned, there were players from Canada's national teams at the tournament. The selection process to join Team Canada starts with provincial qualifiers.
And then all those teams go to a national tournament where you play against teams from all across Canada that finish in the top in the tournament. And even if you win the national tournament, it doesn't guarantee you're on the team. So they literally have scouts from all across Canada come to nationals, and they're literally there all weekend checking off all these players, checking them out, and they literally handpick who they want.
For the first year, I believe we had 12 players, and we would go and attend training camps on a monthly basis, and we would kind of all come together from all around the country, train together. We would be coached by Victor and his coaching staff, and we would practice together and kind of meet each other and understand kind of where we were going with the program. About 3 months into the training program, they released a list of activated athletes that would be attending Worlds and playing on the world stage.
So Worlds is always held in a different place. In the last 5 years, I've been to Mexico, Australia, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and we actually held it in Canada for a year. So it's all over. It's just like the Olympics. Teams in the countries bid to say, hey, we'd like to host it here. They send in a plan of what they're going to offer, and then the WDBF, which is the World Dodgeball Federation, they go through those and they pick whoever they want to select, and that team gets a year to prepare for it and go from there.
Shadae Berkley didn't just spend her time in London playing in the tournament. She was also a referee at the competition.
So to get involved in reffing, I think probably one of the easiest ways to get involved is going to your local league. So for myself, I personally ref out of Dodgeball Toronto. So I'll ref their league nights 3 times a week. I'll be there. And usually people are pretty good about reffing because everybody knows, you can't run a tournament without your referees, or you can't have a well-run tournament without your referees. So I would say for myself, getting involved with refereeing, it was just going to my local league, trying to get involved in the league night refereeing, and you start yourself off in more of a recreational type of setting where it's not as big of a deal when you end up missing calls or anything like that. And it's a learning curve, so once you kind of learn how to do it locally, then when you move up to kind of your provincial level, your national level, it's a little bit, they're like small stepping stones.
The London Dodgeball League plays Sunday nights through the fall, winter, and spring, and has opportunities for all skill levels.
So if people want to get better at dodgeball, there's lots of opportunities to play. First of all, local leagues, best way to go. But then tournaments, right? Go to tournaments, go to Toronto, go to London, go wherever there's a tournament and play, because you can only get better by playing against the best players. And also Dodgeball Ontario will be running clinics for people who want to learn basic skills or get better at certain things or learn strategy. So there's always ways to progress in the world of dodgeball if that is the path that you want to take.
Just go out and have fun. Like, I haven't met a person that hasn't tried dodgeball for the first time and haven't told me they absolutely loved it. The balls are foam, so if I had to gauge it on a top level thrower, it's maybe at worst like getting a little slap in the face. It's not like in the movie, these big red hard balls that you used probably in elementary school, because those leave welts and bruises, but it's not like that.
The best stress reliever. It's so fun. It's just a social thing. Like, I don't know. Like I said, the friends, there's amazing people. You'll never meet better people and more supportive people. Everyone pushes you and like wants to see everyone do better instead of it being like a dog eat dog kind of world. It's really nice.
I think my biggest advice for new players, a few things. One, don't get discouraged on your first time out. Trying dodgeball for the first time can be overwhelming, especially depending on who you play against and the settings that you're in. So I would say don't get discouraged your first time around. Welcome criticism and advice from people who have been playing for a long time, and enjoy it and embrace it.
It's one of the most accessible sports that I can think of. I mean, to play dodgeball, you don't need to know how to skate. You don't need to know how to hold a racket. You just need court shoes. Anyone who wants to try it, doesn't matter if you've ever played on an organized sports team before, ever, it doesn't matter. It's just a whole lot of fun, and it's a great workout.
Reporting for the home team, I'm Priyanka Dogra.
Coming up on the home team.
I think it was a good experience for us as a team, and we definitely addressed a lot of stuff that we needed to after that game, just to be more successful throughout the season.